Hello you guys, it is SerpentOfTheNight and I am back playing Vietnam Black Ops. This is level 7, but it's kind of considered by the game to be level 7A. I'll try to explain more on that from what little I know of this game. But as you should know if you're watching this, this is a mature rated game. So do with it as you believe you need to, except if you don't feel that you're mature enough, stop watching. Go watch something else on YouTube. I'm sure there's other people who need your views more than I do. So either way, I want to talk about a story I was going to tell in another video that, well, I actually uploaded it and then I deleted it, not because I'm against what I produced. It's just the audio levels were so messed up you could not hear me, and it was just too big of an issue to fix it otherwise. So I just have deleted that, and so I want to tell one of the stories, and it's a story about feminism, and it's not a story that I like telling, but it's a story that I will tell people when I need to, and I'm not afraid to tell it in any regard because it's a true story that happened to me, and it's a very sucky story, in the sense of what happened. So I guess let's get on with my story. So this was during a school music trip, and as part of the school music trip for a competition, is the regular course of events that the school would go to the mall in the town where this was for a couple of hours before the event would occur or after the event would occur, depending on what time our event was specifically. So that's just stating it where it was. Now, again, you have to think this is high school. This is sophomore. This junior year of high school. So it's a high school environment. Not high school environment, but keep in mind, I'm a high school student. I mean, I'm a junior in high school, and just how things work. So either way, my girlfriend at the time and one of the friends in our group of people, she and my girlfriend at that time, it's ex-girlfriend, thank goodness she is, she and her went into this clothing store to go and look at clothes to buy, and again, I don't care, that's, completely fine for them to do. It's not something that I'm not I'm against women shopping for clothes. No. This is just, I wasn't interested in going in there, and neither was this other girls, all part of their group. Her boyfriend, again, he wasn't interested in going in there. So me and him ended up sitting on a bench outside of the clothing store, and for a good while we just sat there, just talked for a bit, but eventually it basically, I don't know, once you start passing 20 minutes of just sitting, and again, you're sitting on a bench seat and it's not that comfy and whatnot, so I start doing what I think is a very good, I personally think it's a very appropriate task of, I started to get up when there's people going in that store and the store closest to that store. When that when people went there, I started opening the doors for these people, or whether they were coming out or whatever. That's just what I did. Now, again, let me preface by saying, you'd say, well, why, if there's two of you guys, why didn't you go off like someplace like a video game store or something else? And it's like, we did, before the girls went into the clothing store, and, between me and him, it's just whatever, you get the stuff that you want, but otherwise, it's not something like, oh, I can spend forever in a video game store. No, again, I'm primarily a PC gamer. That's okay. That's getting completely unrelated. I'm just trying to answer like a potential comment that could occur. So either way, so I started opening the doors for people. It's not just women. It's there were some men or whatnot, men and wives, or other couples in the store that I wasn't in there with my girlfriend. I wasn't in there, and I'm just as fine that I wasn't. But either way, so then the story. So after about, I'm going to say, a good 20 minutes, I had been opening the doors for people. Then basically the meat of the story happens. Now, the person right before it was this woman. She came out of the store, and I'm guessing she was in her 30s, and she was carrying her bags of purchases that she had made in this store on clothing. I mean, I think it was just pretty much a clothing store. I don't really know, because it's not like I went in there. But she was really nice. She was incredibly thankful. She said, like, thank you and whatnot, and she was definitely very appreciative of what I did. I'm not to say that I could, do wrong or something, but okay. So there's that. Now, then here comes a woman. I'm going to guess she was like 25-ish, going into said store, and then also whatever, it doesn't really matter specifically what store. I don't even remember the store name. But she's going into the store. So I get up, and I go and open the door for her. And then she just starts going at me with some of the meanest, meanest word attacks. Like, you could just say to somebody for, basically, she was really not happy that I, in any regard, opened the door for her. She considered that, I'd assume she considered that's like a sexist thing, and there's no way I should have done that, and that's, a offense to her. And I mean, let me say, I understand. I didn't need to open the door for her. She had nothing in her arms. It's not like she had a whole bag, had her arms full with bags or whatnot. So there's nothing that was stopping her from just doing it. But I want you to beg to argue that you understand my point of this, where I was coming from. Because again, this is how I've been grown up. Not how I've been grown up. How I was raised. I was, raised to treat, it's not just women to respect them, but I mean, for everybody. I will do it for anybody. It's not to say that I will forever hold the door open or something. It's not to say, Actually, I wouldn't do it again in a mall situation like this. I wouldn't do it again after this. Other than specifically unless it was, I'm going into the store now and you're right behind me or something, so I'll keep the door open for you or something. That's the only way I would do it, honestly, in a mall setting anymore after this incident. But this woman, again, she's like in her 25s, a blonde, but that doesn't really matter to the story. But she just goes at me with some of the worst attacks, that she verbally said, and I know she pissed her off, and well, I'd say she more was somebody who I stepped outside the bounds. I stepped outside of the bounds of what she thought was appropriate, what she thought was, I guess, socially correct to do, and thus I gotta pay all verbal abuse for it. And I just step away and I say, I'm sorry, ma'am, and you can go and open the door. I was just trying to be polite. And I just go over and I go and sit back down, and she goes at me for another minute or so, and the guy didn't, the guy beside me, he didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything, because I think we just wanted her to get on and go inside. And after about a minute or something, she went in, and that was, that's basically it with the premise of the story, other than basically this woman, basically, she felt so offended by the fact that I even dared, to open the door for her, when there was no need for her to, no need for me to open the door for her. And I understand that sort of, but you have to think about this from my logic, where I've, been waiting around for however long, waiting to go on to, other places in the mall or whatnot, and or just to, waiting. And it's a really disheartening thing. And let me say, same thing. I want to be nice to people. I don't want to be rude and mean to people. That said, there's a difference between being nice and between being forever giving to people or completely tolerant or something. And what that woman did, in a ways, it's affected me to this day with certain actions that I will or will not do because of that. And again, I didn't do anything. I say I did a very appropriate thing. What my response to this woman was, I just basically let her blow off her steam. It's not like I fought her or punched her or went at her. There's no reason to. The only reason I would ever do something like that is if I need to defend myself. Otherwise, there's no reason in the world that I would do that. Same thing with a guy. I am not somebody to get in fights with a guy physically just because, I have a disagreement with you and I feel that we need to fight. No. The only reason basically I'll fight somebody is because, let me say fight in the physical sense, is I need to defend myself or somebody I care about. That's basically it. But either way, that's just a story about feminism. And again, it's not to say I'm not somebody who doesn't believe that there should be equality and whatnot, because there should be. There's no reason there shouldn't be equality for the sexes and whatnot. None. Same thing, there's no reason there shouldn't be equality for genders. But that said, there's a big difference between equality and flat out attacking people because, hey, guess what? We beg to believe slightly different than what you believe, and oh my gosh, that's horrible that you believe different than me. And I mean, and some people, it's just a horrible situation. I don't wish anybody what happened to me with that woman because she was, the worst. But either way, I mean, that's short. That's a story about, and it's not like it's incredibly applicable to my girlfriend at the time. However many years it's been, whatever, And again, it's not even like, it's just a story about me. I'm just setting the place of it by telling you about these people who were there. And it's not like they were even involved. It was primarily just me. It was me and this woman. And again, I could see I could have been annoying her. I could have been like, oh, I'm a guy. I'm opening the doors for her. Like, oh, I'm interested in her or something. I don't understand it. Either way, this part is kind of 7B, or I'd call level 8 of Vietnam Black Ops. But either way, I am SerpentOfTheNight, and thanks for watching. And I just needed to get this off my chest. And it's not something that, there are plenty of people out there who are good people, who believe stuff and will do a lot better job at representing it than what that woman did. And I do believe you have to represent a belief in a good manner, and if you really don't, it definitely, I would say it goes negatively against you. Either way, SerpentOfTheNight, and thanks for watching.